In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your sales generating content machine so you can create, repurpose, and distribute content using the Gary Vee model, where you take long form video content and repurpose that into clips for social media, to power your podcast, and even to create search optimized blogs. And I'm going to show you the same system that helped me go from less than 10 pieces of content a week to 60 pieces of content per week across multiple marketing channels with a team that is lean and cost effective and doesn't require a lot of your time. And that 60 pieces of content is helping me generate 50K months. And I don't do any outbound sales or paid ads. And if we actually break down that team, I'm the subject matter expert on creating persuasive video and building the systems to scale out distribution. I currently spend about 2 to 3 hours a week creating content. Then I have someone on my team, Aaron, who does content operations. They're typically finding clips and using Descript to create videos. She spends about 8 hours a week with a weekly cost of $250. And then we also have a part-time video editor who does our high quality video. The time they spend varies, but on average it's $350 a week for a total of $600 a week investment. And those 60 pieces of content a week should also fuel my next goal to 100K a month, because it's really only 10 of the pieces of content a week that are fueling the 50K months. I've really just learned that the more content I make, the more money I make. And now I'm really moving into phase 2. I've added on a full-time person for content operations who can do more video editing in tools like Descript and do design. I'm bringing them on for 40 hours a week, and the total cost is $250 a week. I'm also going to work towards bringing my video editor up to full-time for a total weekly spend of $1,900. And the investments in the team will really help me get to 120 pieces of content per week and really just hone my skills and expertise at building content machines, because this is what I really need to get good at so I can help people like you. And for context, how I got here, which is to help people create persuasive video at scale. After selling my previous company, where I was doing $2.6 million a year, I was on Inc. magazine's fastest growing companies. I took a look around and I saw how vital video and social media was to growing your business. As I went in to start my next business, I was a lot older and I needed to make sure I built it fast. So I dived into video, content, and social media. By the way, I was completely afraid of getting on video, but very quickly I realized how hard it was to create all this content. So I applied all my engineering skills and my tech background to come up with the frameworks and the systems and also the automations to automate 99% of the content workflow, which really allows me to maximize the output, the impact, and the efficiency of my content operation. And as you know, any good content marketing plan starts off with actually creating the content. And it's important that the content is good, it's persuasive, because there's no point in scaling up anything that isn't good. And where most people go wrong is they don't make it easy for the subject matter expert to actually create the content. They don't have a winning concept. They don't have a purpose or a why behind the content they're creating. And they don't have things well documented. And this really causes people to start and stop and not be consistent. And consistency is vital in your content marketing plan. And so what I did to solve these problems is I built out an automated system in Airtable that allows me to track the different types of content that I'm creating and really get granular with the pre-recording process, the recording guidelines, and the checklists that are involved. That makes it easy to record. And then when you're done recording, you can just drop that file into Google Drive, into a content machine inbox, so we can be hyper organized and give every piece of content a unique ID, create the folders, get direct links to the media, and also pull in metadata around that content that we can use to our advantage later in the process. And then you can build out a system like my content engine database here in Airtable, where you can describe what type of content it is, like is it a YouTube video, a live show, or a TikTok? And then from there, every piece of content gets a unique ID. You can see here my content database that I've been able to store every single piece of content that I've ever created with a direct link to the copy, the image, and the media. If I click the media, it pulls up that video directly in Google Drive. I can also click this to directly download it, or just pop into the folder which was automatically created for me. And I can see all the content in the folder that was automatically created for me that's associated with those unique IDs. And I'm also able to pull in metadata like what type of video it is, the file size, the duration, the height, the width, which is going to aid in the rest of the automation process. Now let's talk about the repurposing workflow. And where I see a lot of people go wrong here is they don't have clear definitions on how the content should be repurposed. Every time they create content and start to repurpose it, they're always reinventing the wheel. So I've designed a concept called playbooks, which clearly defines any workflows for any content that's created and ties together any guidelines that anybody needs to know about, like video editing guidelines. Does it have intro music, outro music? Should it be in rectangular or vertical format? And my automated system helps me do that, which helps me 10x the output of all my content creation. Because you don't want to be stuck on the hamster wheel of just creating tons and tons of content. You really want to maximize what you already have. And so for any given piece of content that I create, like a YouTube video, I can describe in great detail all the actions that need to take place after the video is recorded. I obviously publish that video to YouTube. I create a text post in LinkedIn to promote it. It goes out to my email newsletter. It goes out to my YouTube community. I also take the horizontal video and convert it into a square because LinkedIn uses a square format. I also publish it to Hacker News. And for each of these various transformations for my YouTube videos that go from horizontal video to square video, I can apply specific guidelines to each of those transformations, which again filters through to video editors as they do their job. And then one other advantage of the hyper organization is building automated workflows to create content for me is that I can take vertical videos that I created for TikTok. I can use automation to automatically transcribe those videos into text posts, which I can get easy access to here by clicking the copy button. You'll see the transcription here, and then I can have a copywriter easily come in and clean that up because it's already in my voice. And then I have text content for LinkedIn. And then I can also take that text and inject it into carousel slide decks, just like this. And then I can take the output of this and post it to LinkedIn and also Instagram. And now that we have all that content, it's time to start thinking about distribution. What are the brands and channels? And what is the schedule? And what is the real desired output of our distribution plan? And again, this is where my system really helps out because I can actually see the output in real time across all the different channels, which really helps me identify bottlenecks. And because I can programmatically keep track of all the brands and all the channels that I distribute content to, it allows me to automatically post content to platforms like LinkedIn and YouTube and TikTok, Instagram Reels, and Twitter as well. And because I keep track of every piece of content that I distribute with these distributed IDs, it enables me to build out these reports where I can actually track against my output goals. Remember, I do 60 pieces a week. How much is ready? How much is not ready? How much is scheduled for tomorrow? What is ready? What is not? And visually, just what does that look like over the next few days? And what channels do I need to investigate? Where are the blockers and where does my team need support? I'm also able to pull in analytics so that any platform I'm publishing to, like TikTok or LinkedIn or YouTube, I can get access to views, likes, and comments, and actually cross-compare the same post against multiple platforms. And then what's neat is I can actually go back to previously published content and re-engineer it to make it better and just distribute it again. I also have a system for CTA management. So as all of this content goes out, I'm properly managing what the CTA for any given piece of content should be. Whether that's asking somebody to subscribe to the channel, to register for my email newsletter, or to go watch the full episode of a given podcast on the podcasting platforms. And the last piece is designing your team. What are the skills and roles you need to run a highly optimized content workflow? And how do you properly hire or outsource these roles? Because if you don't do it right, you're not going to maintain a high quality message. And again, this all goes back to creating persuasive, good video content because you don't want to scale something that isn't good. And part of that is using the best tools and making sure people know what to do when and being able to give effective feedback. So in my system, it's very easy for people to know when things need to be published, who's working on it, what the status is. And I've also integrated with a tool called frame.io. You can click on this. It opens up your video with player controls. I can play that video. I can leave comments and feedback. And that actually leaves the feedback at the specific point that I want them to see it. So that just makes it super easy and effective to give my team feedback. It makes their life easier and mine a lot easier as well. And we also use Slack so the content team can get notifications from the content engine, again with direct links to the best tools like frame.io, really to increase that team efficiency. So that's really it. That's how I'm scaling up my content creation and distribution process and what I'm doing for my clients. So if you found this video valuable and you want to go more in depth on how to build out your content marketing team, make sure to stick around for the next video. I go in depth on how to plan out your content team, what are the skills and the roles that you need, and how will you build that out over time. Make sure to check it out. I'll see you on the next video.